What is up, guys? Chris here, Professional Dad, and I'm back with another night video. And today what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a little discussion with you guys. And this is a discussion that I would have appreciated, especially when I was just getting into knives and learning a little bit. Now, a lot of people out there are in that same boat right now. And a lot of the comments that we see and read, a lot of the requests that we see and hear from can attest to that. Recently, yesterday, I put out a video about some Walmart knives that were out, the Ozark Trail knives. Now, you guys have told me about a few other ones that I'm really excited to check out and get, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I have them. I'm going to review. Somebody requested one, the Wunger or the One Guard or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. That's out of stock, but I'm trying to order that. And then another one, the Avalanche or something, I can't remember. Mike mentioned it, and I'm going to try to get that one as well because I want to keep you guys informed on what the options are, especially in the budget range, because I know that a lot of people enjoy the budget knives. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you also know that in the last couple of weeks I've done a lot of other videos with budget knives, and people really like budget knives, and I get it. I totally understand. I got a lot of budget knives myself. So what I wanted to do, when I saw the value and the quality in these Ozark Trail knives, and I've got also a bunch of Swiss Tech knives from Walmart. I really like those too. And go back and watch my videos. I've always spoke well about Swiss Tech knives. I think they're a great value for what you spend. So what I wanted to do in this video, I wanted to take Swiss Tech knives and Ozark Trail knives from Walmart and compare them with some budget options that you can get from Amazon and find out which place you should really be looking to get your budget knives. Would your money be better spent going through Walmart and getting Ozark Trail and Swiss Tech knives, or would your money be better spent going on to Amazon and getting some of the Amazon brands? Now here's a caveat. Walmart sells Buck, Kershaw, CRKT, stuff like that. We're not considering any of those. Not SOG, any of the name brands that you can find at any knife store, Blade HQ, Knife Center, stuff like that. Now, Amazon pretty much has every knife brand you can think of, well, within limits. There are a lot that they don't carry, but they carry a lot of different brands. So you can get petrified fish and stuff like that on there. But guess what? You can also go to Blade HQ and Knife Center and find petrified fish. So if it's a knife brand that's a mainstream knife brand that the knife community gets and understands and really are invested in, and you can buy them at your places like your Blade HQ, Knife Center, places like that, then those aren't considered in this. These are your knives like Sativian, Olatans, Ned Foss, Gonzo, Troc, things like that. Now, there's some great knives. We're going to compare a beater knife. We're going to compare an EDC knife, an executive carry, a fixed blade, and a multi-tool. And we're going to go through these really fast. We're going to flip to the tabletop version, and we're going to run through these. We're not going over all the stats and everything. We're just going to compare the knives and see which one you should get or which would be a better value. Now, I tried to keep this a total price for all of these knives. Going to Walmart and getting a fixed blade, a multi-tool, an EDC knife, a beater knife, an executive knife, under $200. Getting all 5 of those, a total collection. Now, I don't know if that's possible or not. And you're going to see that with one of these, it was possible. With the other one, it was just over $200 at $210. So, with that being said, let's check these knives out. Let's compare them, and let's see which one has the better value, the better options, and which one you should spend your money with. Let's check it out. So, the best way to do this is probably to do this one comparison at a time. And what we're going to start off with right now is we're going to look at some beater knives. Knives that you could take out, you could take onto a job site. You know, right across the street here right now, there's a big, massive water tower, and they're painting that thing top to bottom. And I mean, that's one of the tallest water towers I've seen. That thing is massive. and they're welding arms up there, braces on top to hang tarps and stuff like that. And I was talking to one of the guys over there, and he was walking around and he wanted a pet nook, and he's from North Carolina, and he's always on the road, and was telling me about these jobs. And I was telling him about, collecting knives and stuff, and how I enjoyed it. And because he was actually fiddling with his knife, messing with his fingernails. You ever seen somebody do that, cutting on their fingernails? He was actually doing that. And I was like, oh, what kind of knife you got there? And he just had a buck. But he was telling me how all the guys over there are all into knives big time. And he's like, oh, you should bring some over here and show them to us, man. We love that. We might buy a couple. I told him I really didn't sell my knives, but that's neither here nor there. Those guys work hard and probably beat on their knives a lot. What type of knife would you want to take to a job site like that? I'm not taking a Chris Reeves Benzo to a job site like that. Not that it couldn't handle that type of work, but I'd want to be taking a knife that's affordable, that's a budget knife. If I break it, if I lose it, whatever, it's not going to break the bank. So let's look at some knives right here. The first one is this Ozark Trail, which, like you guys know, Ozark Grail, a great knife. Now this is a very fidgety knife, great handles, G10 handles, a reversible deep carry pocket clip. You got jimping on top of the spine of the knife and on the top of the handle. The crossbar lock, the action on this thing is so daggone good. Nice thumb studs that give you good traction. Even jimping on the underside of the handle so you get a good firm grip. Now the blade itself is a black coated D2 blade, and the hollow grind on this thing is great. Has a great edge, cuts well, good sharp point, a swedge up here for deep penetration. All in all, a great knife, D2. Now just yesterday, or the day before, and I think it was yesterday, yeah. Who was it? So many people commented. I can't remember who it was. One of you all said that you had sharpened your son or grandson's. Who is it? I think it was the grandson's. Sharpened it 3 times. And it's always held an edge extremely well, because you'll sharpen it every couple months or whatever, and it just holds an edge really, really well. This knife for $10, I've not really heard anybody complain about the heat treat or anything. For $10, you get such a massive value that it's hard to beat or complain about this knife. Even if you're a knife snob, it's really hard to complain about this knife. Now, if this knife was $50 or something, yeah, sure, you could complain about it and nitpick it and beat it up and stuff. But for $10, you can't complain about this daggone knife. There's nothing to complain about. What are you going to say? Oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. Yeah, it's $10. What did you expect? So extremely high value for every dollar that you spend with this knife right here. The Ozark Trail D2 knife, fantastic option. But here is another knife that you can get off of Amazon. This is the Sativian ST128. Now this is an awesome knife. G10 handles. It's got the jimping underneath this, about down here where your fingers go. It's got jimping on top of the spine of the blade and the handle. Basically kind of the same thing that you got going on there. You got good thumb studs. This is a liner lock instead of a crossbar lock. You've got a massive D2 blade. Well, it's not massive, but it's a big D2 blade, especially compared to this one. I mean, look at those blades. You get a lot of cutting edge stone wash, very slicey blade, razor blade sharp. Sativians, everybody that uses them seems to like them, and they hold up well. Now, this comes in at $27 on Amazon. Sativian ST128. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I like this knife better. I like this knife better. I really do. I like this knife better. I like the look of the knife. I like the feel in the hand better. Yeah, this one is, fidgety as all get out. But just on looks and feel and the sliciness of the blade with this flat grind, I like this knife better. I really, truly do. Now, it's got a deep carry pocket clip that's not reversible. It does have a hole here for a lanyard. So it's got a lot of pluses, but it's got drawbacks. It's not a reversible pocket clip. It's not fidgety like the other one. It is a heavier knife. It's a lot heavier than this one. A bigger knife, it's going to have a bigger imprint in your pocket. Going to take up more room and space. I think overall, this is a better knife, and I like this knife better. But when you're talking about a beater knife, it's exactly that. A knife that you can beat up, a knife that you can abuse, a knife that you can, just destroy if you want to and not think twice about it. And when you're comparing them for that fact, you cannot beat what you get for $10. For $10, you get so much out of this knife. You could buy 2 of them, last twice as long as this, spend $20, you're still spending less money than you spend on this, and you can use it for a long, long time. When one breaks, you've got another one to go a long, long time. It's just, there's no comparison. I like this knife as an individual knife for carrying it, for, whatever. It's just value for value. It is not possible for this knife to hang with this knife, in my opinion. You don't have to agree. This is all perspective. I think that this is a knife that's a better value and the way to go on a beater knife for $10. So right now, Walmart 1, Amazon 0. 1-0. Next, let's talk about gentleman's knives. Gentleman's carry. Now, gentleman's carry to me is just a classy looking knife. Not a knife that really screams EDC. Not you can use it for EDC. Not a knife that screams, hard use. It's just a classy, nice knife. You can use it for executive situations, gentleman situations, the kind of thing you would wear with a suit or taking out for dinner or your Sunday lunches after church or whatever. Now, Walmart has a great option, and it is this knife right here. Now, I can't remember what the name of this is. I will link it in the description below. But this is a great knife. Now, I have another knife from, remember, I'm trying to keep the cost as low as possible to see which, so there's on Amazon all kinds of knives that you can go for to give you a comparable knife like this, but I'm trying to keep the cost as low as possible. So a good executive knife or gentleman's knife that I found from Amazon that you could get for a good, decent price is this beautiful Olatans right here. Now, this Olatans is absolutely sweet. Titanium handles, deep carry pocket clip, sleek, stylish. This is a frame lock. I'm sorry, not a liner lock, but it's a frame lock. Nice jimped flipper tab, so you got good traction. A nice little drop point D2 blade that is a razor blade. I mean, this thing is sharp. Let me tell you right now, it will cut you quick. Just a nice knife. Now, this is Walmart's gentleman's carry. This is a very slept on knife. Let me tell you right now. I really, really like this knife. If this knife did not have Swiss Tech as its brand name, this knife would be an $80 knife. Well, maybe not that much. A $60, $70 knife all day long. If any other brand made this exact knife, it would be twice what it cost. But because it's Swiss Tech and sold at Walmart, you can get it for what, $37, I think. This has aluminum handles, carbon fiber inserts on both sides, has a deep carry pocket clip. It's not reversible, but it is a deep carry pocket clip. It has this beautiful aluminum spacer right there with a spot for a lanyard. It has a now it's not jimped, but you do have a flipper tab, and you get a larger spay blade with a flat grind, and this is AUS 8 blade steel. And AUS 8 is a Japanese steel, Japanese stainless steel, and it is very sharp, great tip. I like the spay blades a lot. They look pretty cool. Now, one is smaller, one is sleeker, one gives you titanium handles. One gives you aluminum, carbon fiber, a beautiful red spacer, liner lock. D2 versus AUS 8. There's a lot going on here. Now, here's the caveat. I almost went with this, the Miguron Acri. Now, if I was comparing the Miguron Acri with this knife, it wouldn't even be a competition. The Miguron Acri would slay this knife. There's no question about it. The Miguron Acri is fantastic. I love Miguron and I love this knife, but here's the deal. You're talking a lot more money, and I wanted to keep the cost as affordable as possible. Where are you going to get a bigger bang for your dollar when trying to stay affordable and get the most affordable knives? So doing that, you can't go and get knives that are more expensive. You're trying to cut cost in this competition and challenge, not raise the cost. So, plus I just don't have the other options that are on Amazon and stuff. These are the options that I actually have to compare. Now, this is $20. This is $37. Now, this is a great knife. It really is. It really, really is. D2 titanium. Now here's the deal. This is a good looking knife, and you got a bigger blade, more cutting edge, carbon fiber inserts, aluminum. I mean, it's a bigger knife, $37. Here's the deal though. When I'm going for an executive style knife, some of the arguments could be this. Well, this one has a lot more blade for cutting and stuff like that, more cutting edge. Well, for me, a gentleman's knife isn't so much, for me, now you all can be different. For me, a gentleman's knife isn't so much about what it's capable of doing. If I was doing that, I'd be looking for a beater knife or an EDC knife. A gentleman's knife is just so that you have a sharp edge on you in case you do need to cut something, but more about its sleekness, its fill in the pocket, things like that, the look of it. And while this is a fantastic knife for $37 and it's hard to beat, I think this Olatan's is so sleek and titanium handles and so simple with the frame lock, and $20 compared to $37. Now, if I was actually wanting to use the knife and I needed it to do a bunch of different tasks, look good as a gentleman's knife, but to do a whole bunch of other stuff, well then obviously this knife is going to win because it's got a bigger blade, more cutting edge, stuff like that. But for me, gentleman's carry is just about the knife itself. And for that, it's hard to beat what you get for a $20 Olatan's right here with titanium handles. It just looks so daggone cool and good, and I love this knife. So I am going to give the win to the $20 Olatan's. You don't have to agree. I understand. Put it in the comments if you disagree. So now, Walmart won, Amazon won. Let's talk EDC knives. Now, for the EDC knife, there's no question I am going with the Walmart Ozark Trail 14C with aluminum handles. No question. Now, here's the deal. For the Amazon knives, you've got a lot of knives. I honestly wanted to put the Troc in here, that button lock and stuff. It's a really good knife, but that's a lot more money. What is that? That's $40, $45. I'm trying to cut costs and get the most bang for the buck, like I've already said twice. So I'm going with the Gonzo. The Gonzo is a knife that's coming in at $25. So you're talking $20 versus $25. Really close in price. But let's compare the knives and let's see which one is a better value, which one you should spend your money on if you wanted a really good EDC knife. Not a hard use beater knife, but an EDC knife that can handle the task that you throw at it. Yeah, if you might run across the hard use task that your EDC knife is going to be expected to handle. But most of the time, EDC knives are just for general EDC tasks. They do a lot of the light work. Now let's start off with this Ozark Trail. This is a beautiful knife with aluminum handles, and it feels fantastic. The ergonomics are incredible on this thing. Gent spine on the knife, you have thumb studs, you have a deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, you have nice steel liners, and you have an aluminum spacer here with a bigger hole for a lanyard. Now it does have a crossbar lock, and as who was it? It said, oh, James said in his comment. Trust me, guys, like I said, I might not be responding to all the comments right now because I get so many comments. I'm flooded and I can't keep up with them. Trying to raise the boys and keep up with all the comments, that's a great problem to have. But I am reading them. James said in his comment, he was talking about the springs on this. And I have to agree, the springs feel great on this. The action is phenomenal. It is incredible what they're doing in this knife. You get a hollow grind. You know, it's just, look at that swedge. Now, I wish it wasn't a Tonto. I do wish it was a drop point, but I'll take what I can get. You're getting a brown-coated 14C 28M blade that is a razor blade. Excellent ergonomics, feels fantastic in the hand. You get so much value in this $20 knife. It is incredible what you get right here. This is fantastic. I love it. I recommend this knife so highly for somebody wanting a good budget EDC knife that doesn't have a lot of money to spend or doesn't want to spend a lot of money. I mean, look at the quality of this knife. Look how good that looks. I mean, that's beautiful. If you didn't know that was an Ozark Trail and I put that on that shelf over there next to my other name brand knives, the Vosteeds, the QSPs, the Kaisers, the Civivas, it would fit right in. If I said, hey, which one is the Walmart knife in there? And they didn't know, they would never know. But yeah, if you take a trained knife person, they're going to know just because of that right there, the Ozark Trail. But I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't know if it wasn't for that. That's how good this knife is. But let's talk about this. This is Gonzo right here. And for $25, this knife is incredible. I mean incredible. I love this knife. The ergonomics this has fantastic ergonomics. This feels so good in the hand. This though, what does Ace Ventura say? Like a glove. I'm telling you, it's insane how good this feels in the hand. I love that Jimp thumb platform right there. You do have a pocket clip. It's not quite deep carry, but it is reversible. You have thick steel liners with the spacer barrels, crossbar lock, and this thing is fidgety. I mean, this is the springs are a little softer on this than they are on this. I'm gonna be honest. The springs are a little softer, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It does give it a snappier, quicker feel. The blade is awesome. Look at this, almost a dagger style blade with that swedge, the stonewash look. Now with this, you're getting a D2 blade. So it's going to hold its edge for a long time. It's going to hold up really well. It's going to be a great beater knife and stuff. This is a knife that can cross as a beater knife and as an EDC knife. I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is fantastic, but I wouldn't really use this as a beater knife. I just wouldn't. I mean, the blade is thinner. Look how thin that blade stock is, and it tapers to a fine point. Look at this blade, how thick that is. This is a knife that would double between EDC and a beater knife. For me, no questions ask if you was to compare the value in these two knives. Yes, this is $5 more, but it all day for $25, it racks it up. It smokes this knife right here. Now, this is a great knife, and a person who did choose this knife out of these two wouldn't be making a bad choice. There's no wrong answer here. For me, this knife is just so much better. I'm actually surprised that this knife costs what it does. I like this knife that daggone much. Gonzo is an incredible knife company making knives. This thing is awesome. I love this knife. And yeah, so for this challenge, hands down, no question, 100%, the Gonzo wins big time. The D704. Links will be in the description for all these. So right now, Amazon 2, Walmart 1. Now, let's go to fixed blades. Now, for fixed blades, I wanted to get a fixed blade. We've got EDC, we've got Gentleman's, we've got hard use. So I wanted to get a EDC, or not EDC fixed blade. I wanted to get a fixed blade that we could use for what fixed blades were intended for in the beginning. Just a beater knife. You can go out to the woods with them. You can go camping. You can do survival. You can EDC them if you need to. But they are used for hunting, everything. All of the rugged things that an EDC can do. Or I keep saying EDC. All the rugged things that a fixed blade can do. So I went with this Ned Foss fixed blade against this Swiss Tech. Again, I cannot remember these Swiss Tech names. They are the most confusing things ever, but I will link it. Now, here's the deal. For these two knives, I will tell you the Swiss Tech does cost a little bit more. This is costing 50 bucks. This is coming in at 38, so just under 40. Now, if you'll notice, both of them have a ferro rod. Now here's the deal on this ferro rod. With the Ned Foss, it's just an elastic cord that you take up over it and it slides out. Now it's a big ferro rod and it works really well. I've struck it a couple times to make sure it does. And then it fits back into this Kydex slot, and then you take the cord and snap it back over. Now and by the way, this is a tacoed Kydex sheath with a T-clip on the back. So it is great value in the sheath. Ferro rods are a dime a dozen. And we'll talk about the knife here in a second. With this, you get a molded sheath. You got a lot of opportunities here and options as far as lanyards go, as far as paracord wraps, different things like that, molly. Now with this, you get a rotating pocket clip. Rotates 180 degrees. So you can do crossbody appendix carry on the back. You can do vertical. You can attach it to a backpack, whatever you want. I have made statements before in recent videos. Go back and watch them. I enjoy a belt clip like this much more than the T-clips for a reason. These secure a little bit better, but they're more limited on the belts that you can wear and stuff like that. These have more versatility. We'll go with more belts. You carry these without a belt, just put them over your pants or whatever. I like these a lot better, these clips, but that's just a clip. Now the ferro rod is a smaller ferro rod, but the ferro rod is wrapped in micarta for a handle. Now it does slide in here, kind of similar to what the ferro rod does here. Now here's the deal. The ferro rod itself is not a big deal for me because the ferro rods are a dime a dozen. You can get one for what, $6-7 Now this one is a lot bigger, but I do not like the fact that it's held in by a simple elastic band. What happens if that snaps, breaks, which will definitely happen if you use it a lot? It's going to lose its retention, on and on and on. This actually has a micarta handle. Sure, it's smaller, but ferro rods are easy to replace. you can just glue a new one right down in there and you're good to go again. But that micarta handle is pretty cool. It fits in here, which is a much more snug and firm grip. So if you're out and about and that cord snaps or whatever, it gets caught on something, you lose your ferro rod, you don't even know it till you go to start a fire. With this, it's a lot more secure. So as far as the sheaths go, in every way, I like this sheath a lot more than I do this sheath. Yes, this is Kydex, but with the sheath, this sheath is just a better sheath in my opinion, more versatile, more secure with the ferro rod, different things like that. Now, the knives themselves, this is the Ned Foss. It has G10 handles. It does have a lanyard here. It has massive, thick 440C stainless steel blade, which is going to be really tough. Great stainless capabilities. Not the best edge retention. It's not going to hold an edge very well, but it will take a razor blade edge and you can sharpen it really easy. It's got massive chunks taken out for your jimping. That's exactly how I like a fixed blade to be jimped. That's great jimping right there. It almost takes skin off if you lose your traction on that. It's so aggressive. The ergonomics feel great. One thing that I do not like about this with the ergonomics are these sharp lines right here, these edges. They should have rounded those off. This is so flat right here. If you see what I mean right there by that, it's so flat that these are actually edges and they've got a little bit of bite to them. So you should definitely round those off with sandpaper or something and soften those edges up a lot. But other than that, the ergonomics on this thing feels great. It is a flat grind drop point blade, 440. It is what it is. You're getting this for $38. All right. Now this, on the other hand, is micarta wrapped handle, full tang. Well, almost, because it's got this little red piece of aluminum here for a lanyard, but also just for looks because it pops really good. You get a beautiful clip point AUS-8 blade. AUS-8 blade, flat grind. This is a good knife for camping and outdoors. It does have jimping on top right here, but also it has this little, if you see, this little round spot right here for your striker. It has a sharp spine so you can strike the ferro rod. You can just whoosh, 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 and you strike. Same thing with this sharp spine so you can strike the ferro rod. This, I have watched videos of people trying to destroy this knife, torture testing this knife, this Swiss Tech knife right here. And everyone I watched, they were amazed at how much this knife would take. They would just beat the tar out of it and it would just keep going. And they would all walk away like, holy smokes, actually, that's a pretty daggone good fixed blade. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I love the ergonomics, these straight lines, neutral grip. I can hold it different ways. This, it's held one way. That's it. That's it. It's not versatile in the hand. One way, and that's it. This, it's got a lot of versatility, and I just like this knife a lot better. I think it's a better quality knife. I like the AUS-8 factor. I like the coated blade. A lot of cutting edge. I like that swedge right there for penetration. I like the micarta. All in all, these two knives are both good, affordable budget knives for camping and outdoors. They're both good. People like this. Now, I don't know about the heat treat. I've heard bad things about Ned Foss. I've heard good things about Ned Foss. It's a wide range of things that I've heard. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. I've probably heard more negative than good, but I have heard a lot of good as well. I've heard nothing but good things about this knife. Nothing but good things. Yes, it's a Walmart knife. It's a Swiss Tech knife. It cost $50. but you get so much value in this knife. And so obviously you can tell from my comments that for me, no questions asked, Walmart and Swisstech win this part of the challenge by a landslide. It's not even close. The Ned Foss is a good $38 knife if you want a knife that you can beat up and destroy and use or whatever. And it looks good. It's beautiful. Now, if you're just going on looks alone, the Ned Foss wins by a mile. But when you get past the aesthetics of it, the Swisstech is the better knife, in my opinion, easily. And all of these points and opinions are exactly that. They are my opinions. Don't take them for gospel. You don't have to agree. If you don't agree, tell us in the comments and tell us why I'm wrong. Just don't be a jerk about it, because nobody really cares that much. It's just knives, and this is just a fun thought experiment. This really doesn't matter. Nobody really has to agree with me that one's better than the other. These are just, it's just for fun. The last thing I wanted to do is compare multi-tools, because they actually have multi-tools through Swisstech and Walmart. Now, again, we're not talking about the SOGs. What the heck was that, dog? What was that noise? I think he was rubbing against a toy or something. All right, lay down. Lay down. It's all right. The kids are going to school and he's not happy. All right, so they have a multi-tool. Remember, we're not talking SOG or Gerber. We're just going Walmart multi-tools. And they have some really good Swisstech multi-tools. Now, for Amazon, when we can't go with the name brands, we're going to go with the brand that's sold on there, and that's Roxxon. So I'm going to go with a Roxxon multi-tool, and I wanted the multi-tools to be similar as far as they needed to have multiple tools, and they also needed to have pliers. I didn't want to compare some multi-tool like this compared to just a little square Roxxon that didn't do a whole lot. That wouldn't be a very fair comparison. I wanted them both to have a pair of pliers and multiple tools. All right, so here's the deal. These are our two multi-tools. Now, let's talk with this first. This is the Roxxon. First of all, I like the fact that it's got a spring-loaded pair of pliers. I like that. It's got replaceable wire cutters. You can replace those when you need to. I like the fact that it's got that. It's got a nice pocket clip right here. It does have a locking system so that they will lock open and closed. And it's also got this really cool feature. Let's take these out here. Come on. You want to come out? Come on out. Come and play. Daggone it. It's one of the things I don't like about this one. It's a little hard to mess with. Oh, maybe because I had them locked. My bad. How do I do this? This is what I don't like about Roxxon. They are, it's a little, are they locked in? Let me see. Roxxon is confusing to me. All right, so right now they're locked. They won't open. Is that right? All right, there we go. All right, so you've got a lot of tools, and how do you close them back? Yeah, I've used this thing several times, but I've never enjoyed it. I've never enjoyed this thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never enjoyed this thing. And now I'm getting frustrated because I can't remember how this works. And you know, here's another thing. If you're not careful, the daggone pieces come off because you can replace them. They come off and go back on. And once you do figure it out, yeah, they go on really easy. But this is something I've noticed. They're very flimsy. Even when you've got them on there, because they are designed to come off and go back on, they're always that little, there's a lot of play in them. What the crap? Somebody at home right now is like, this is what you're doing wrong. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, now I got it. All right, so you push on this right here. Let me unlock it. Push on that. All right, so now let me try this again. Let's open one piece. All right, it's locked. Push on that and it closes. I'm telling you, you got to relearn this thing every time. And yes, some of you guys have it and you've used it a million times and you've got it down, no problem. This thing is very confusing. It's very confusing, especially in the beginning. But also, when I was first getting to use this, all of my pieces came off because I did it the wrong way. I was trying to figure it out and I took all the pieces off. And now I was like, how do I put them back on? So I had to watch a YouTube video to put them back on. And that might seem silly or whatever, but it's the truth. Now, one thing I'll give it is this. One thing I like is it does have the spring-loaded handles. It's hard to get the... Let me close all these. All right. It's got the spring-loaded handles right here like this, and it's got these scissors right here. It does have those. Now, the scissors are great. And the scissors are honestly the biggest reason why I carry a multi-tool. I've said that a million times. The reason that I carry a multi-tool is these right here are to take the pieces off. I know that. I know I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, these are locked so they won't open. This is unlocked so they will open. But once you open them and you take them out, that is where you can literally, how do you do this? Take the pieces off. So they can get really confusing. And when you do get the pieces back on there, because they are designed to come off and go back on, they do have play in them when you're using them. The only reason I use a multi-tool a lot of times is because of the pliers, but mainly because of the scissors. I like having a pair of scissors because I've got a knife to cut everything. Now let's talk about this one. All right? Because trust me, there's a lot of negatives about this one too. A lot. Number one, you don't have spring-loaded pliers. All right? Number two, let's look at the attachments that you've got. Now these attachments are on a whole nother level. These are so, for instance, look at these scissors right here. Look at these scissors. Look at those. Those are so chintzy. They are spring-loaded, but they're just chintzy. I mean, those are just terrible scissors. Look at that, how small that is. That's a screwdriver. Now, yeah, that would be a great screwdriver, but it's just small. There's not a lot there. Over here, one thing I give it, it does have a lot of tools. Here you've got a screwdriver that also has another little screwdriver, Phillips head, that fits right there in that. Then you got a flathead that you can double as a pry bar. But when you close these, and let's close this now on this side, Trust me, there's a reason that Leathermans and Gerbers are so daggone great. They're simple and they work good. You got a file. You've got a saw. You've got a wood, or not a saw, but a serrated blade. I said saw. This is your saw. And you have a blade. Now your blade is AUS 8 blade. You got AUS 8 blade still on here. That's the best thing about this multi-tool, is the fact that this is AUS 8. That's the best thing about this multi-tool. Now this multi-tool uses 3CR, 5CR, and 8CR on its tools. I'm pretty sure. I know it's 3CR and 5CR, but I think it's 8CR on the blade. I could be wrong. It might just be 5CR on the blade. But I wouldn't use the multi-tool for the knives anyways. Honestly, for me, both of these multi-tools are great for what they are. If you like them, I would much rather have just a Gerber or a SOG or a Leatherman, just to be perfectly honest. I just would. I don't like the fact that this one is so confusing, and I don't like the fact that the pieces there's a lot of play in, they wiggle some when you're using them, because they're designed to come out, so they're not very secure. They are secure because they're locked in, but they also, there's just a lot of play, if that makes sense. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, the one good thing about this is that it is customizable. So it comes with different attachments. If you wanted to take these attachments off and build it a different way. Roxxon, I just saw a Knife Center video where he was sitting at a dining room, or a dining table at a restaurant, and a lady was taking his order, and he was acting like he was building a custom Roxxon, and that was what he was doing. He was ordering a Roxxon like he was ordering a menu, and the lady was like a waitress telling him about the menu of Roxxon stuff, and he built a Roxxon. That is great about this. But other than that, it's beautiful. It looks great. It's just confusing, and I don't trust these pieces very much. The pieces are chintzy, I should say, very thin. They snap and break easy. And I've also heard from a few people that they do use liner locks to lock these pieces into place. I've heard from a few people that right here at the pivots, those are weak and they break and wear out really quick, and they snap and you have issues. I've heard a few people say that about this. Now, here's the deal. This is a $50 multi-tool. You can get one that comes with some little, like a bit driver and stuff, and has some little bits and stuff. That's a different price, and it's a different multi-tool, but it is Swiss Tech as well. But this Swiss Tech is $50. I will link it. This Roxxon is $90 for this. There are great things about this Roxxon. Great things about this Roxxon. But there's also a lot of negatives about this Roxxon. And to everybody who loves this Roxxon, I apologize. I understand. I see the great things in this. I see the values in this. I really do. For me, it's just, there's things about it I don't like. And when I weigh the pros and cons, and when there's more negatives than there are positives, it automatically is a wash. And for me, there's a lot of positives, but there's more negatives. So, you know what? In the multi-tool category, we are going to scratch it out. It's a draw. I don't like either one of them. Well, I like them, but I'm not going to give either one the vote. So it's 2-2. So let's have one tiebreaker really quick. How are we going to do the tiebreaker? Well, that's easy. We're going to look at flashlights from Walmart and flashlights from Amazon to find out which one gives you better options for the money. Now, Walmart has these little lights like this Coast right here. This is a little simple light, just on and off, uses a AAA battery. It's not rechargeable, stuff like that. But we're not going to go with that battery. We're going to go with the next thing up. We're going to go with Nebo. Walmart sells some lights. Both of these are right around that $20 price range. They look cool. They have great looks and stuff to them. They have that gray look, almost titanium, but they're not. They're aluminum. And they got the orange highlights, so that's great. They both have magnetic bases. I like that. They both have turbo, and this has turbo, high, medium, turbo, and strobe. This has high, low, and strobe. It might have one other, but this is the Slim Mini, and it does very limited functions. Very limited functions, and it's $20. You're basically paying for the fact that you're getting a very thin, low profile light is it. And with this magnetic base, pocket clip, rechargeable, both of them are USB to C chargers, and $20. Nebo makes great lights. They're very simple. They're very straightforward. They're flashlights. But for $20, what could you get from Amazon? For $20 from Amazon, you can get a Woobin G5. You can get this Workos right here. This is the fantastic. I mean, this thing is so daggone. The HDO3 and the G5 are both incredible lights. This thing does some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. Now, honestly, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't compare to the G5 because the G5 is just a fantastic EDC light with this rotating head and everything else, and rotating pocket clip. But both of these are amazing lights when you're talking about a $20 price range. So for $20, would you rather go with something like this that gives you colored lights? You can get red or blue lights. You can get strobes. You can get, and of course they have magnetic bases and all the other good stuff. You know, you've got your, let me see, where's something metal? You know, they both have magnetic bases. But you get a lot of other things as well. So for $20, no question, if you're looking for a flashlight, do not go through Walmart. Don't go through Walmart.com. Go to Amazon. Get you a Woobin G5. Get you a Workos HDO3. There's tons of other Woobins, Workos, through night. Right here's one that you can get. I love this light right here for $20. For flashlights, it's no comparison. Amazon is the way to go. With that being said, Amazon just takes the lead 3-2. Amazon has won this challenge. If you are going to be buying some products, knives or flashlights for your EDC gear, trust me, either one of these places are great options. You're going to get your money's worth. Amazon does win this challenge by the slimmest of margins, only because of flashlights. But when it comes to knives, they are both great, fantastic choices. You cannot go wrong when you're talking just a few bucks, when you're talking budget prices, beater knives. Amazon, Ozark Trail, Swiss Tech, Sativian, Olatans, Gonzo, Ned Foss, they're all great options. Guys, today there's a race to the bottom, and you are the driver. You get to pick what you want, and you get prices that you can deal with. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. I'm Chris here, Professional Dad. I wish all of you sharp knives and happy lives, and I will see you in the next video.